Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser, and I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. I don't know why I looked up there while I turned my head around. That's how easily distracted I am. Sorry there was no definitive rankings yesterday. I only read like 6 books last week and had a crazy as shit work weekend. But it is what it is. So, to find out what books I'm reading this week and think you should read along with me and maybe get for free 99 in the Poser Pile giveaway, well, check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, you know what I'm going to say next. 3 quick announcements. Number 1, tonight at 9, I think I said it at 9:15 Central. I don't know, it's on Whatnot. Go find me on Whatnot. I am doing my, once every month and a half, 2 months, Funko Pop auction. I have all kinds of bangers. I am doing mystery pull envelopes to set the baseline bid at, I think it's around $15 an envelope. You'll be able to see on Instagram the picture of everything that I will have from the anime section of the mystery pulls and the non-anime section of the mystery pulls. Because I know if you love anime, you love anime. If you don't love anime, you don't want an anime pop. So I'm going to see if I can clear out a bunch of shelf space, make all kinds of collectors happy. Number 2, comment on this video. If you comment on this video, you get an entry into this Thursday's giveaway of the Poser Pile, which will happen on Shop Talk around 10:30 Central. Speaking of Shop Talk, we have our first creator who is actively doing something for Marvel. And as somebody who's a big fan of indie comics, that freaks me out a little bit, right? To be like, we are talking about a Marvel creator. But that's kind of cool, right? To get a big 2 publisher. And it's even cooler because the creator is David Pepos, who is someone who has done self-published or Kickstarter books like The OZ. Was Spencer and Locke kickstarted? I think so. But he did Scout's Honor for Aftershock, which was phenomenal. And he is the author of the upcoming new volume of Savage Avengers, which I learned a little bit about it by reading part of the first trade of Jerry Duggan's Savage Avengers, like I know who's on the team at the beginning of it all. So we'll see how that book is, and, anything else he wants to talk about, and then maybe I'll talk indie comics at the end, because I'll feel a lot more comfortable than go, teach me about Savage Avengers. Alright, without any further ado, let's go. Alright, so I think it said my pull is $105 this week. I know I'm getting multiple covers of at least 2 titles coming out. So I'm going to guess maybe 20 individual titles I'm picking up, so let's see. Batman 89, this is part 5 of 6. I feel like we've had a good 2-month break between these 2 titles. I enjoy what's going on in the throwback into the Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton Batman universe. It's good fun. Batcat 11, is this 11 of 12? Are we finally almost there where we are seeing an epic fight between Selina and her daughter? That storyline took on far much more prominence than I thought it would, and I love it. Black Panther number 5, I'm still 2 books behind. Sorry. Captain Carter number 2, I enjoyed the first issue of this a decent amount. It was just shy of making the top 5, but something that I'm definitely intrigued about seeing how Peggy handles being a celebrity. Next you can see it's Elektra 100 that I am excited about this, and I normally don't put anything higher than a 1 in 10 on my poll. That I think that David Lopez variant might have been a lower ratio at one point in time. I know I'm probably not going to get that book, and if I do, and I have to eat a bunch of copies of Elektra 100 to get there, then you know what you can find in every poster pile for the next 400 years. But I'm excited to see what is happening with Elektra post Devil's Reign stuff, post all of the Woman Without Fear stuff. I want to see what happens. And I love this Ruan variant. It is amazing. Alright, next up we got Hit Me number 2. I talked about this on Shop Talk, and I think it was in my top 5 picks of the week it came out. I really enjoy kind of this BDSM heist story I really like the essay at the end that Chris Faust and Patricia Petrades wrote about how it was an interesting way to kind of explain one of the biggest areas of sexual fetish in BDSM that we tend to poo-poo and really judge people for being into, and don't kink shame people. You're into your own thing. I don't know why this, Grand Design Momoko variant is coming out a week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks after Grand Design, but I'll take it. I think it's cool with the Hulk She-Hulk. Human Remains number 7, I still have to read number 6. It's sitting right here, and I'm going to make sure I do that before we get there. One of the books that I am super excited about that is definitely going to be in the poser pile this week is Image number 1. As much as I enjoyed the history of the Image universe, kind of that timeline style book, or what this book is attempting to do is to create a large anthology of new stories and some ongoing stories from different creators who have or have not worked with Image in the past. So I feel it's kind of like Skybound X was, or Skybound 10 was in a little bit. So I want this greatest hits of people who have worked or will work with Image in the future, and I'm going to try and get an extra copy of this to go in the poser pile. Speaking of poser pile, I loved Kaiju Score volume 1. Kaijus assisting in a bank robbery that ended up getting optioned, which is still fucking amazing. But I am back for more. Needless to say that I loved the first arc of this. Now we see Michelle in charge of her own crew. Let's see the degree of difficulty that gets stepped up in just this absurd title that should not work in any way whatsoever. These people should have been murdered by the kaiju, and they're not. They're not. Speaking of murder, you like that segue? Last book you'll read, number 7. The Olivia and the team are in this creepy cult sanctuary where they end up being attacked, they were attacked by the followers because she was a false prophet, that she learned that maybe she didn't write this book, that maybe it was willed through her but already existed, and they were attacked. They escaped somewhere. I'm gonna guess it's not gonna go well for them. Miles Morales, Spider-Man 37. I said I was probably gonna drop it after 36, but then when I saw that it now became Lost in the Spider-Verse after the Beyond arc of Amazing Spider-Man, yeah, I'm down. We'll see if some weird things happen, or we get some first appearances, or some new appearances, or some new morphings of, characters as we get into the Spider-Verse, as we build to the October release of Into the Spider-Verse 2 Part 1. Right, that's what's happening. It's broken in 2 parts, I think. If there was a book that might be the antithesis of good, wholesome Miles Morales, it's Rodney Barnes's Nita Hawes Nightmare Blog number 6. This is the beginning of the new arc where we just saw all kinds of wild shit go down in issue number 5. That I think that this spin-off series of Philadelphia may be as amazing as the original. That usually spin-offs will get their own different following. But this one is just on par, and I think if you are loving what happened in Philadelphia or is happening in Philadelphia, you should be in love with this book. We got Nocterra number 9. Y'all know I'm thirsty for Nocterra, that I love it so very much. Now we know there's a fresh member of the roster, and he might not be a good guy. Still don't want to spoil number 8. I want to see what it's like when this dude is now part of a team. And I want to see if any of the visions of the future pan out, but scurry. Next up, we got Radio Spaceman number 2. This is from Dark Horse. I picked up 2 copies of the first one for me, one for Steve Hayner, and I think they are still sitting in my 2-pack and mail pile, because I'm a terrible person. I am sorry, Steve. I will send you something extra to go with Radio Spaceman number 1, and it might be a copy of Radio Spaceman number 2. Next up, is this an instant frontrunner for the pick of the week? Reign number 4 from Image Comics is coming out. Reign 1, 2, and 3 have all set a Poserverse record of being all 3 issues of a series to be at the top of their pick of the week list on the month, or on the week that it's come out. Can they do it again as Honeysuckle is getting closer to Denver after she has been kidnapped by those ruffians, around Boulder? I don't know my Colorado geography. But are her previous travel companions going to catch up with her? What happens? I don't know, and we'll see if anything unseats this book, but it has been amazing. Next up is The Rush number 5. This has been just the wild story about a mother looking for her lost, presumed maybe dead, but hopefully alive son, where there's just all kinds of weird occult shit happening around gold. It's good. If you have been sleeping on The Rush number 5 and want just a radically different, but equally as creepy as everything else that's coming out right now, horror story, this is something you have to be reading. Shadow Man number 8, my dude Cullen Bunn is crushing this Valiant title, and we are getting Shadow Man and Punk Mambo, two people that I love seeing together, that if I were infinitely wealthy, I would have bought the Punk Mambo and Shadow Man character NFTs that Valiant has been dropping, but I just don't have that kind of money. So Valiant, if you're listening to my love of them and have heard my love of them throughout, hook me up. From Image, we get A Town Called Terror number 1. It is a kidnap that may or may not be remembered or happened, that there may be traces that do or do not exist. Is this happening in a weird phantom dimension? I don't know. And this cover looks absolutely creepy as shit, that just like this little bit of a face that looks like it is peeking out on there, or I'm hallucinating that into existence. I think it's super. From Marvel, we get Venom number 7. I have been enjoying this as we are watching everything, including Eddie and Dylan and Venom and that weird dog-cat symbiote thing from like Venom number 9, 7 of the original Kate's run, and the villains come into their own. This is just Al Ewing and Ram V are putting you on a crazy ride, and I'm excited, and I bet we will talk about this on this week's Shop Talk, and I'm going to guess David has read it too, because if there's anybody who tweets about not just the comics that he's writing, but the stuff that he's reading, it's David. From Vault, we get We Ride Titans number 3, so we are getting the sister fully ascending into her role as the mech pilot. I'm excited to see how this happens, especially as, you know, there were some attacks happening on the town that she's in, so let's see what goes on. And apparently, waffles. We get What If Miles Morales number 2. I really like the Captain America book. This time it is Wolverine, so you know I'm going to love it, unless it's real bad. It's real hard for me to hate anything that like even farts in the direction of something Wolverine, so I'm sure this is going to be good. And I love that they're playing with the hybrid costume cover stabbing a Sentinel in the neck. I think it's absolutely brilliant. X-Men number 10. Again, speaking of Wolverine, we got some new Wolverine. We got Laura on the cover. I still think of this run I'm on X-Men number 8, but I'm almost caught up with everything else. So I hopefully am caught up by Sunday on this. And then, the last title that I'm also really excited about is X-Men 92, and it's House of X, but in the 1990s. So, I want to know what happens in a world where Krakoa is founded in the era of the X-Men TV cartoon show that we all loved. Because I think that would be dope, right? That's the play on X-Men XCII. I think that's Roman numerals for 92. I'm bad at math and numbers. But super excited about that. There is a very good chance that this actually vaults itself to the top of the books that I read this week, which hasn't happened with an X-Men book in a while. That normally it is the middle to bottom third of my stack, where I know that I've got to wake up with a fresh mind, a shit ton of caffeine to be ready to go to crack into this title. So what do you think? What books are you excited about this week? Let me know over here in the live chat if you're hanging out in the premiere, or as always in the comments down below. Either way, comment for a chance to win your poser pile. Can anybody oust Shutterduck, who is our first back-to-back champion? That we've had somebody win 2 before, but Shutter is the first one to do it back-to-back. So can anybody take down the duck? Check us out on Shop Talk on Thursday, where we interview David Pepos, who is going to talk about his run of Savage Avengers, which, again, super excited about, to learn more about the title, but also, you know, his transition into writing something for Marvel and what we should expect from this run. And lastly, don't forget, tonight, I think it's 9:15 Central, on Whatnot, doing a bunch of pops. You can see some of them here in protectors on the floor, because I gotta finish pricing things. So that means I gotta go. As always, y'all, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.